Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Disclaimer as I'm going. I am just gonna go ahead and tell you right now. The video in which I am about to react to, if there's anything that I say or you see from the person that I'm going to react to, if they say anything that you agree with, I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, you're anti-Semitic. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that right off the bat. So if you're afraid of being anti-Semitic, before you leave a subscribe, leave a like, and be gone. But I'm just letting you know right now. If anything that I'm going to say, if you agree with anything that I say, you will be labeled as anti-Semitic. And with that being said, let's go ahead and react to this brother over here. By the way, his name is Smile to Jannah. I've reacted to his video in the past. So if you know who he is, well, let's get it.
The description. Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. I didn't think that the embarrassment that Israel is suffering with could get any more, and it is using their own hands. They keep taking dumb, stupid steps that further alienate them from the masses, and this is no less. Miss Rachel is a children's show presenter. Anyone with little babies has probably seen this face. She is somebody that has been doing kids shows for quite a while, entertaining and educating little children. Because of her field, she actually cares and empathizes with children. And because of this, here's a clip of her praying, not for any specific children, for children in Palestine, Israel, wherever they are suffering.
Listen.
This is a prayer for children in Gaza. This is a prayer for children in Israel. This is a prayer for all the children. Please stop hurting them.
But whenever you make this prayer,
Do you agree? Because if so, you're an anti-Semite. If you agree with, what she said, you are an anti-Semite. But let's continue. It keeps going. It keeps going.
before you make this statement, Israel takes it as an offensive statement. Actually, scrap that. Not even offensive. They take it as anti-Semitism. Let me quote. On X, there is a Stop Anti-Semitism page, and they called her somebody that's putting forward anti-Israel.
I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and just move this if you want to read it for yourself, so that way you get a better understanding of what the the Stop Anti-Semitism tweet said. So yeah.
Israel propaganda, praying for babies that are being murdered, and another one, amplifier of Hamas propaganda. Nowadays, you cannot even pray for babies and children without being labeled as an anti-Semite.
So many of you guys don't follow me on X, and I can understand why, because I'm too stupid to post my X account at the bottom. But one thing that I said on X was related to Mr. Beast, by the way. So recently, Mr. Beast decided to build a hospital in Ghana. And in that X, I said, if he was to do the same thing in Gaza, he will be labeled as anti-Semitic, and his entire career will be completely destroyed in a blink of an eye. Am I wrong? You tell me. The fact that a lady is praying for children, she didn't even specify. She just said both Israelis and the children of Gaza. That right there was enough to get Stop Anti-Semitism to call her a supporter of Hamas. I mean, you just it is a never winning battle. You cannot win. Why do I say that? Because the definition of anti-Semitism is evolving constantly. This is not my word. This came specifically from them. So if you're trying to walk on eggshell to try not to be anti-Semitic, guess what? You doing that probably already made you an anti-Semitic. So yeah, do as you will with that information.
You simply cannot pray for kids. Whilst these guys are bombing them to smithereens, not only that, now they are focusing on anyone associated with kids. Yeah, if you are even linked to children, that's a problem, mate. Yeah, if you are entertaining kids, mate, you're finished. You know what I mean? The next step's gonna be anything that has the word kid in it. That's gonna be anti-Semitism as well. Yeah.
Heck, if you get pregnant and give birth, you're gonna be considered anti-Semite.
So if you're with your friends and you say, just kidding, nah. Can't do that, mate. It's going to offend them. Yeah? Anti-Semitism. Don't make that mistake. Yeah? Learn this from now. Yeah? Your language is going to be policed. Kidney. You want to give your dad a kidney? Yeah, nice try, Hamas. Saw right through that, mate. Sling him in prison and stick the Star of David on his forehead. That'll teach him. And if that's not all, you think I'd be joking. But here is an article from the Daily Mail in which you have Israelis saying that they want to change the Bible and the Quran and possibly other holy scriptures that offend them. They want to change.
Yeah, and in my ex account, I even said, if you try the Bible, I can understand because the Bible has been through many editions. It's been edited so many times and stuff like that. But when it comes to the Quran is not only a physical book. The Quran is in the heart of millions of Muslims. So not only do you have to go through the process of changing the book, you will also have to convince millions of human beings who have memorized the book to change their mind and, forget about previous verses and then implement new verses. It's an impossible task, is all I'm trying to say.
Them. Honestly, these people are the most deluded folks I have heard of ever since I can remember, mate. The sooner America, UK, Germany, these countries back off and let these people just survive, try and survive by themselves, you'll see people just be like, why the heck did we bother defending these folks? Just today in the morning, I saw a clip of a bunch of lads getting ready and saying, don't come after Miss Rachel yet. It was obviously a comedy skit, but I was like, Miss Rachel, what the hell is that? And then as the day progressed, I kept seeing more and more. And then I came across the story itself. And I was like, damn, talk about freedom of speech, mate. These people are coming into your lands and taking away your freedom of speech, coming after your beloved presenters,
That's
coming
right.
after 2 Labour MPs were rejected when they tried to go to Israel. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what's crazy? You still got people out there thinking that all this propaganda and everything you hear on the news about the Israelis is done by either Iran or the the Middle East, the Muslims over there. Some people are literally making claims that the Muslims are the one who are pushing all these anti-Semitic views in America. Last time I checked, Donald Trump is not wearing a turban. He's not wearing any Muslim clothes. Last time I checked, almost every single president from JFK, if I'm not wrong, or maybe it goes further back than that, I'm not really sure. I'll have to go look into it. Last time I checked, they all have to go to Israel and kiss the wall. You don't see any of them going to Mecca and then surrounding the Kaaba 7 times. You don't see that. But it is mandatory for them to go to Israel and go kiss the rock. But everything you hear is rumor. It's a lie. Okay? Our politicians are not being controlled by Israel. Are you kidding me? They're not being blackmailed by Israel. Like, whoever came up with that idea is so stupid. Like, where the hell did you get that from? I get it. I know. Qatar. They're the one who is paying you to spread that misinformation. Wow.
So I implore you, firstly, look into what's going on. Realize you do not want to be on the wrong side of history. And secondly, don't let these folks manipulate your leaders. Last week there was discussion of Donald Trump having a guy behind the curtain. You cannot make this stuff up.
I would prefer a deal to the other alternative, which I think everybody in this play knows what that is.
No, what is
It's
it?
not going to be pretty, and I do not prefer that.
Behind him, who's that guy behind him?
I-
That's Lutnick.
Was that Lutnick?
Yeah, Lutnick, right? That was Lutnick.
One of the
behind him.
triumvirate. He's always there.
He's
Oh,
always
wait
there
a
in the
second.
shadows.
There
There he
he
is.
is.
Wait a second. That's like the meme.
He
That
is.
is
That's
the
the
meme.
meme.
He's doing-
We got it up. We got the meme up. So we've got Howard Lutnick over here, like kind of hiding half behind
In the shadows. Literally in the shadows.
behind the president, right? And then you can go to this anti-Semitic meme from like 1930.
I've called it the triumvirate. Obviously, there's more than three people that are behind what's happening to the Trump administration. It's sort of implosion, as I've called it. But there are three that I refer to as the triumvirate. Howard Lutnick is number one, and Howard Lutnick is running the Commerce Department. He is the executor or one of the executors of the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And who is Howard Lutnick? He's former CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald. He represents the Rothschild bankers. He represents Wall Street. The next is Witkoff. Witkoff is handling all of our foreign affairs. He is basically the shadow Secretary of State. And who does he represent? AIPAC. He represents the Israel lobby. And the third member of the triumvirate is Miriam Adelson. And Miriam Adelson needs no introduction, but she represents the Zionist banking class.
If you don't know who she is, she's the lady that gave over $100 million to Donald Trump. Yeah.
That basically bought and bribed Donald Trump, or worse.
This was on the back of the discussion on the Tucker Carlson show, in which one guy said most of these representatives in the American Houses of Parliament have an AIPAC guy.
And I have Republicans who come to me and say, that's wrong what AIPAC is doing to you. Let me talk to my AIPAC person. By the way, everybody but me has an AIPAC person.
What does that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter, who is always talking to you for AIPAC. They're probably a constituent in your district.
Like, are you serious? How is this okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to leave it there, yeah? I'm just going to let it marinate and you realize what the flip is going on, mate. So, in the words of social media, free Miss Rachel. Let's leave it there, guys. Until next time.
So yeah, like I said, all of this is a lie. What are you talking about? AIPAC buying off the majority of the seat in Congress? Israel controlling America? All of this is nothing more than just propaganda that's being spewed out by Qatar. Qatari are paying a bunch of influencers and stuff like that to spread all this misinformation about Israel, But hey, who am I? I'm just a poor YouTuber who is just trying to give you the information that you want to know. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys up later, man.